Right now, we're going to talk more about integrations and specifically a service desk integration from HaloITSM. And joining me here today are both Nicholas van den Steen and Tom Petley from HaloITSM. Tom, why don't you give a bit more explanation on who you are and why you're here?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, great to be here. My name's Tom Petley, and I'm the product manager of HaloITSM. And today I'm just going to talk to you a bit about HaloITSM as a company, go into a bit of a demo of the product, and then just talk a bit about the integration with Lansweeper as well. Before that, I'm just going to pass over to Nico.
Thank you, Tom. So my name is Nicholas van den Steen. I'm the Technical Alliance Manager for Lansweeper. I've been with the company for 5 years now. And some of you might know me from customer meetings that we had because I was in direct sales before. And today, next to me is Tom for HaloITSM. And we will, of course, give some explanation on our integrations and how we will move forward with Lansweeper Discovery and bringing this into a CMDB and ITSM tool. But first, of course, I will go into a bit of who is Lansweeper. Some of you might already know, but we can just recap that. So Lansweeper is a Belgium HQ company, and we have close to 300 employees at this point in time with offices in US, Spain, Italy, Ireland, UK. And recently with Cloud Docket, we also added Canada. Next to that, what does Lansweeper do for your IT? Lansweeper, the discovery tool, we have different mechanisms. So you have the credential scanning. Next to that, you have the credential-based scanning, which will give you a deeper dive into your IT environment. And for the devices that are not connected to the network, we also have the agent-based scanning. When we bring this all together in a MongoDB or an SQLDB, this will allow you to query on different compliances that you need to do. And then via our cloud API, we will push that into an ITSM tool, like, for example, HaloITSM. These are the different scenarios that we tackle with Lansweeper. So as you can see here, business management, SAM compliance, but of course today we will focus on the service desk and the ITSM and CMDB compliancy. Next to that, we also have an overview of the different integrations that we have at this point in time. Of course, they are not all here, but some of them, like Splunk, ServiceNow, HaloITSM for me. And then, of course, all the customers that are using Lansweeper at this point in time, which we are very proud of. Customers like Sony, Liverpool, Red Bull. We have about 25,000 customers, and they are spread across 136 countries.
Yeah, and maybe before we head over to Tom, good thing to mention, if any of you do have questions about the integration, about anything you see here, be sure to put your questions into the Q&A so that we can answer them at the end of the session. Tom?
Brilliant. Go to Halo slides. So a brief introduction to Halo as a company, for any of you that kind of haven't come across Halo before. HaloITSM is a UK-based company. We're an ITSM vendor, and we specialize in creating an intuitive platform for ITSM software. We're a global company, headquartered in the UK, but offices in the US and Australia. We're not in quite as many countries as Lansweeper, but we are in 60 countries, so kind of all around the world, kind of delivering service management solutions. Halo specializes in being, like I said, a modern intuitive platform, which is meant to be intuitive for both the end users, but also the administration side of things as well. We've also delivered a seamless integration with Lansweeper. So Halo specializes in the service management piece, but for the asset discovery and the CMDB discovery, we integrate with best of breed and Lansweeper we've chosen to partner with in that sense. The platform is codeless, so there's no kind of coding. It's all intuitive using drag and drop builders, and throughout the system it's designed to be kind of intuitive. One of the key strengths is the ITIL alignment. So if any organizations are either looking to move towards kind of aligning of ITIL or already kind of aligned to it already, that's where kind of the system comes into play, comes in its own, out of the box, kind of ready to go. We'll now take you into a demonstration of the platform. So we've got a kind of a pre-recorded demo of the system, which we'll take you into now. Hello and welcome to the Halo ITSM demo. And for those of you who aren't aware, Halo ITSM is a service desk system which has a really close partnership with Lansweeper. So it's a platform that can be used kind of as an alternative to the Lansweeper help desk system. And it's got a really tight integration with both the Lansweeper cloud platform and the Lansweeper kind of on-premise system as well. So today I'm just going to give you a few kind of insights into the Halo platform, talk you around the system a little bit, show you some of the kind of the key things, and also how you can kind of visualize your Lansweeper data in Halo. And then talk a bit about the benefits of kind of combining the two together and kind of using that integration, that close partnership. So this is Halo. So this is the view that your agents, as we call them, but kind of your service desk team, your different kind of IT teams would log into. And you'll see that they can visualize all their data with kind of nice dashboards here. They can also go into different areas down the left-hand side. So you'll see on the left here that Halo is an ITIL aligned system. So you'll see we've got our different out-the-box ITIL processes. So if that is something you are looking to do, Halo can kind of give you that best practice kind of straight out of the box. I'm going to go into the incidents area and just show you a few bits around here as well. So you'll see as I go into here, the incident area defaults to incidents by team. And that just means we have our teams of people down the left-hand side. You can drop in whatever teams you have. In this case, we've got first line and our second line service desk teams, and then just an example resolver group at the bottom. Against each person or team, you'll see you can see exactly the number of incidents assigned to them. So in this case, I've got 4 tickets assigned to me here. But I could click on James's queue and I could see the one here. A couple of nice quick things to show you is that you can drag and drop to reassign a ticket to another colleague. So I could give James that other ticket as well. And that will just update the counts and update my list of tickets. You can also sort by any of these columns. So Halo is really strong at kind of SLAs and kind of managing the different priorities, making sure people are working on the right things. And this SLA time left column is actually a traffic light system. So it goes from green to amber to red as it goes through that SLA. You can sort by any of the columns. So you could sort by things like the priority or even just the status or anything like that. I'm just going to click on the priority. You can also filter on any of these columns. So if you just hover over the column, you'll see the little filter that comes up. So I could just filter on here to see my high priority tickets. Or I could search for like a keyword in the subject line, maybe something like incident in there, and you'll see it just filters that list. Halo's got really strong searching, so you can actually search up here as well to search all incidents. Or you can search up here in the top right, and that'll go through all the different areas of the system. So that'll allow you to search your assets, for example, or your knowledge base articles. But you can do it all from one place. You can also edit the columns, so you don't all have to work from the same view. So you could edit this, and you could add in, for example, an asset column. So if I just put the asset tag in there, save that, and I could just drag and drop that to reorder it and pop it in there somewhere. That asset tag is something that could be synced from your Lansweeper instance as well. So that's kind of a little bit of the basics of kind of what you're looking at in Halo. I'm just going to move on to talk a little bit about how the different tickets can enter the system. So Halo's got lots of different channels available to you. It's got some of the standard ones. It's got the self-service portal, which I've got up here. It's got kind of email integration. It's also got things like live chat and chatbots. And also lots of third-party integrations out the box. So we talked a bit about kind of Lansweeper for your assets. But you can also integrate with things like Jira for your development team, or a lot of the Microsoft platforms, Azure DevOps, Azure AD, all those kind of systems. So loads of integrations out the box. It's also got an API as well. So it's got a REST API that you can just use if you want to work on any integrations as well. Something I'm just going to quickly show you here is just how you can raise a ticket manually. So I'm just going to go up to the new button. I'll start typing my name in. And as I said before, this would typically be synced with AD or Azure AD and just map all that information in. We can then raise a ticket in the system. So I'm just going to raise an example printer incident. And I'm just going to paste that into the details as well. Something again that Halo's quite slick at and kind of nice to use is just being able to paste screenshots into these boxes or paste images straight into the body of the ticket. As I scroll down as well, all these fields are all searchable. So I'm just going to start typing in printer, and you'll see it's just going to give us the option of categorizing it as a printer incident. I'm also going to select our impact and our urgency, and that's just going to set the priority behind the scenes. Something that you'll see Halo's doing as well is it's got this suggested articles bot that runs in the background. So it's actually going to suggest us knowledge-based articles as we're going through this process. And it will do that for the self-service side as well, so it'll help your end users. It will kind of suggest them articles as well, so you can actually resolve things themselves on the portal. One kind of key thing I want to show you today is the ability to link an incident back to an asset. So I'm just going to search all my assets here. And these assets here, these have all been synced from Lansweeper Cloud in this case. But once they're all synced together, you'll see we've just got the option to be able to select from any of these options. So I'm just going to select this Dell printer here. Now, just to show you kind of where that looks in Lansweeper, so if I go back here, that's just that Dell printer there. So we've just basically selected that, and we're saying there's an incident with that printer. As I just submit that, you'll see that's just going to drop into the system. And in this scenario, it's just dropping into our unassigned queue here. It's got that asset tag, that Dell asset tag in there, and it's got that SLA of 4 hours to go and have a look at that. So really, yeah, quite slick and seamless. And I just want to move on next just to show you a bit more about how it can look from the self-service side. So I've just branded this up with Lansweeper branding, but this would take your organization's branding. So when your end users, they go to the portal, they can actually go and it's all kind of look and feel exactly how you want it to. From here, you see you can publish effectively any widgets you want to. So in this case, we're suggesting some information around the service statuses. So we're saying there's an issue with emails and there's some maintenance for Teams, that kind of stuff. There's also an option here to have a nice big search bar. And the search bar, it's like a Google style search bar. So it searches everything in one go. So if I was to type again, use that example of print. If I was to type that in there, you can see that same knowledge base article here. We can also see any services, any tickets. We can also push any assets into there if we wanted to as well. Also, as we get along here, we can choose any kind of buttons we want to put on here. So we've got some kind of nice sensible ones here. We've got kind of service catalog if you want to start using that. If I was to click into this, you'll see you can group up all your different services. So if an end user wants to make a request for a new piece of hardware, kind of laptop, mobile phone, that kind of thing, you can have all that in there. But likewise, if you want to do some of your kind of accounts and access, your kind of new starter processes maybe, you can go into here, have your kind of define your forms. It's all just a drag and drop form builder in Halo. And off the back of that, you can then kind of line up your workflows, your approval processes, all that kind of stuff can be done within the tool. The other thing you've got here is you've got the option to publish those assets to the portal. So again, we're just pulling that Lansweeper data into Halo, and you'll see it along here. We're basically showing the users what assets they should have. So we've got a mobile phone and a workstation here. As I said before, you can define exactly how you want this look and feel to be, which buttons you want to put on there. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want to. As I said before, it's all just drag and drop builders in the system. You've also got live chat down here and chat bots as well. So you can actually have your users interact using a bot instead of going through the buttons. And you can also have live chat if you want to give them the option of chatting with an actual person as well. Okay, I'm just going to get back into the agent side and just show you a few more pieces on this. I'm going to keep the demo quite short today, just show you some of the kind of the high level features. But obviously, if you want to get in touch and go through anything in more detail, absolutely, we'd be more than happy to show you stuff in more detail. So the next piece I just want to talk you through is the assets. And this is just to show you a bit of a visualization of what the Lansweeper data looks like in Halo. So I've synced just this demo data from Lansweeper from here. And you'll see down the left-hand side, it's a very, very similar view to in Halo and Lansweeper. It's very similar kind of representations of that data. So on the left-hand side, you've got your asset types here in Lansweeper, and you've got the same concept in Halo. These are your asset types in Halo. So if we continue that example of printer, we've got all our printers here, and you'll see here, we've just mapped some fields here. So we've mapped kind of last seen, last change, those kind of fields. If I go into one of our printers, so I'll go into this Dell printer we were using earlier, you'll see we have this nice overview page where you can see all the kind of recent activity on that particular printer. You can actually click into it and actually open up and see the ticket in more detail as well if you do want to actually see some of that data. Once that loads up, so you'll see you've got all the information there from that ticket we logged. You've also got the recent activity, so any kind of updates to any of those tickets, any interactions with the user, that all shows in there. Also down the right-hand side here, you've got additional details. So this is all the stuff that pretty much the fields you want to map from Lansweeper. They can either show in the additional details, you can put them in different tabs, you can really play around with the layout however you want it to be. There's also a concept of you'd want to capture some information in Halo that's not in Lansweeper. So you don't purely have to pull that information from Lansweeper. Often you might manage the kind of financial data in Halo, so maybe purchase price, kind of when it's up for any contracts that are up for renewal, maybe under the maintenance, if you are working with any third parties. So you can capture kind of separate information which isn't synced from Lansweeper as well. So you kind of got the option of having Halo being the master of some, Lansweeper being the master of the others, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds by viewing them in one single view. Any changes to any of these fields, anything that's captured here as a change, I'll just edit one here manually. Let's just put HaloITSM. Any changes to any of these fields, whether it's Lansweeper or whether it's changed manually, we picked up in the change history. So you see you've got all that history of all those changes here. And as well as that, we can move through and we can actually capture the software as well if we want to. It's fully configurable, this, so you can configure whichever tabs, whichever views you want to. And the final thing I just want to show you in Halo is that you can build out a visual representation of the links between those assets as well. So we have dependency diagrams where we can actually kind of show those different links. So you can kind of take it a step further, build those links into there. So if you are doing an update to a server, taking it offline, you know the impact that's going to have on your other devices, your database, your other services that you offer. Okay, that's kind of a very high-level view of kind of what HaloITSM is, how it kind of ties together with Lansweeper, and hopefully you can see the kind of the real value you get from tying the two systems together, the close partnership we have, and just the kind of the system that is Halo, and you can hopefully see a bit of a taster of it there. Okay, thanks a lot, and thanks for everyone for taking the time to look at the demo.
Okay, thanks for the demo, Tom. I think it's time now to really head into the Q&A. So again, if you do have any questions, pop them in the Q&A and we'll be able to answer them live here. We only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to jump straight in. The first question that we have here is, does the system support ITIL or ITIL workflows and processes? Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. So out of the box, it supports all the core ITIL processes. So everything from incident management, change management, problem management, asset management. It goes through all the core processes and it's all configured out the box, but you can also tailor them to your organization's requirements.
Okay, great. And another question that we've gotten in is it possible to automate requests like adding a user to Active Directory?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So part of the orchestration engine within the application, you can automate that process. So when the line manager requests a new starter, for example, that can automatically, maybe on approval process, after that, go through and automatically create that user in Active Directory. Yeah. Okay,
great. Does the system support automatic assignment of tickets?
Automatic assignments, yeah, absolutely. So as soon as the ticket's raised, based on any criteria within the ticket, whether that's raised by the portal, live chat, email, yeah, it can automatically be assigned. There's loads of options in there as well. There's kind of skills matching and round robin and load balances. There's a ton of options for automating the assignment.
So plenty of options to make sure that nobody gets overworked and can manage the queue, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Now I know in the demo it was already mentioned what kind of ways or methods you have to import tickets or get tickets into the system. But there was one question that came in regarding what methods there were specifically to get tickets in. I know you mentioned in the demo the basic ones like email, live chat, but can you simply quickly repeat what the other ones were?
Yeah, absolutely. There's tons of options. So kind of the common ones are things like email integration, self-service portal, live chat, chatbots. But that also extends into kind of bots within Microsoft Teams, Slack bots, that kind of stuff. You've also got kind of integrations with a lot of event management systems, REST APIs, mobile apps, telephony integration. It really does go on.
Plenty of stuff.
Plenty of stuff, yeah.
Okay, great. Then I think we've gotten to the end of our session. I want to thank you both for joining me here and talking more about Halo ITSM.